National Shrine located in Quezon City, capital of the Philippines from 1948 to 1976. The park is located inside the large traffic circle in the shape of an ellipse enfolded by elliptical road. It features a tall tower containing the remains of Manuel L. Quezon, the second official president of the Philippines, and the first of an internationally recognized independent Philippines, and his wife, First Lady Aurora Quezon.
Was originally intended as the grounds of the national capital to be built in Quezon City to house the Congress of the Philippines. The location was also part of a larger national government center located around Elliptical Road and the Quezon City Quadrangle. The NGC was meant to house the three branches of the Philippine government, while the cornerstone for the structure was laid on November 15, 1940. Only the foundations were in place when construction was interrupted by the beginning of the Second World War in the Philippines. After World War II, President Sergio Osmeña issued an executive order stipulating the creation of a Quezon Memorial Committee to raise funds by public subscription to erect a memorial to his predecessor, President Manuel L. Quezon. A national contest for the Quezon Memorial Project was held in 1951, and Filipino architect Federico S. Illustres Design won the contest. Aside from the monument itself, a complex of 3 buildings, including a presidential library, a museum, and a theater, were also planned to be erected.
Of sword of late President Manuel L.
Ceremonial Sword of the Knights Templary, a gift of James Wells to Manuel L. Quezon.
Now, let's check out the tomb.
Construction of the Quezon Memorial was begun in 1952, but proceeded slowly, in part due to the cost of importing Carrara marble, brought in blocks and then carved and shaped on site. There were also problems associated with the theft of the marble blocks and the management of memorial funds. The monument was finally completed in 1978, the centennial of Quezon's birth. His remains were reinterred in the memorial on August 19, 1979. It was during that time that by virtue of a presidential decree, President Ferdinand Marcos mandated the site as a national shrine. The National Historical Institute manages and has authority over the monument itself, while the Quezon City government administers the park. The planned auxiliary structures were never built, namely Presidential Library, Museum, and Theater. 2 smaller museums, one containing the presidential memorabilia of Quezon and the other containing items on the history of Quezon City, were installed within the monument itself. In the 1980s, missing, lost, or incomplete bas-reliefs for the outside of the memorial were installed. A development plan was also drawn up and partially implemented including the building of the recreation and dining structures. On April 28, 2005, the remains of Mrs. Aurora Quezon, widow of the President, were solemnly reinterred in the memorial as well.
As President Manuel L. Quezon said, I have no ambition for power, horror, or glory. My only ambition is to see the triumph of the ideals for which my colleagues have been fighting for years. To help make our country a better and happy place to live in. Termination the task without our forefathers began. And now, we've seen a lot parts of the Quezon City Memorial Circle. I'm sure those facts are worth learning for. Once again, I'm Chelo and Francis for your tour guide here in Quezon City Memorial Circle. Thank you. Next stop is Luneta.
Rizal Park, also known as Luneta Park or colloquially Luneta, is a historical urban park located in the heart of the city of Manila, Philippines, adjacent to the walled city of Manila, now Intramuros. Since the Spanish colonial era, the park has been a favorite spot for unwinding, socializing, and urban oasis for family picnics on Sundays and holidays. It is one of the major tourist attractions of Manila. These statues were the national heroes who fought for our country during the revolutionary period. Like Juan Sumuroy of Samar. Like Sultan Sinaran of Cotabato. Apolinario Mabini of Batangas. And Graciano Lopez Haina of Philippines. So you cannot imagine that these national heroes had set the Filipinos and had a nationalistic heart.
Located along Manila Bay, Luneta has been the site of some of the most significant moments in the Philippine history. The execution of pacifist Dr. Rizal on December 13, 1896, sparked the fire of the Philippine Revolution against the Spaniards, elevating the martyr as a national hero of the country. The park was officially renamed Rizal Park in his honor, and his monument serves as a symbolic focal point of the park. The Declaration of Philippine Independence from American rule was held here on July 4, 1946, as well as the political rallies of Ferdinand Marcos and Corazon Aquino in 1986 that led to the EDSA Revolution that deposed Marcos, ending his dictatorial government. The Independence flagpole, standing at 107 meters or 351 feet, is the highest flagpole in the Philippines. On the spot in front of Rizal Monument, at 9:15 a.m. of July 4, 1946, the full independence of the Republic of the Philippines was proclaimed as authorized by the United States President Harry S. Truman. On 12 June of 1998, The park hosted many festivities which capped the 1998 Philippine Centennial, the event commemorating 100 years since the declaration of independence from Spain and the establishment of the first Philippine Republic. These celebrations were led by then the President Fidel V. Ramos.
Rizal said, ang kabataan ng pag-asa ng bayan. It is up to the youth whether we will have a progressive country for the benefit of the society. Once again, I am Dancel, your tour guide here at Luneta, last stop Intramuros.
construction of the defensive walls was started by the Spaniards in the late 16th century to protect the city from foreign invasions. The 0.67 square kilometer walled city was originally located along the shores of the Manila Bay, south of the entrance to Pasig River. Their reclamations during the early 20th century obscured the walls from the bay. Guarding the old city is Fort Santiago, its citadel located at the mouth of the river.
Located in the Intramuros district of Manila, it was originally a parish church owned and governed by the Diocese of Mexico in 1571, until it became a separate diocese on February 6, 1517, upon the issuance of a papal bull Iulius Forte Precedo by Pope Gregory IX. The cathedral serves both as the prime basilica of the Philippines and highest seat of the Archbishop in the country. The cathedral was damaged and destroyed several times since the original cathedral was built in 1581. The 8th and 3rd incarnation of the cathedral was completed in 1950. of the beauty of the Philippines.
And now, let's sing a love part of Quezon Memorial. And now, let's sing a love part of Quezon Memorial.
Rolling.
Wait lang, pre.
Rolling. Rolling.
Rizal Park, also known as Luneta Park or Colonial Luneta, is a historical park or urban.
These are the collection of late President Manuel L.
Ang mali! These of the swords. These are the decoration.
These are the
Ayan. Rolling. Smile.
These are the late collection.
Rolling.